Hi, everybody. Rebecca here, and here is, let's switch that over. There we go. Now you see Glenny.
Hi.
And thanks for joining us at the Chilton Public Library on our YouTube page. We have June's Cook the Book, and this month we are doing sushi rolls. And I'm actually going to toss it right over to Glenny and let her explain why we chose sushi rolls today.
Well, believe it or not, today is International Sushi Day or national or whatever.
I think it's international.
Yes, Sushi Day. And oh, Rebecca and I both have an extreme fondness for sushi. Now, true confessions here, sushi is the rice. Therefore, we didn't feel too pressured to have to do the raw fish aspect, which we both tastily like. But unless you're a real proficient professional and know what it's supposed to look like, how it feels to touch, how it smells, we didn't have the confidence to be able to do that. So instead, we're doing sushi rice combinations with lots of yummy vegetables and crab and things like that.
Yes.
So, yes. And Rebecca will tell you something about rice.
Yes. So before we kicked off, we're going to deviate a little bit, and we wanted to talk about how to make the sushi rice, because once we get into all of these recipes that are in the book, this is going to be the foundation of pretty much every recipe that you're going to have when it comes to the sushi rolls on there. And so the rice, I'm going to just show you real quick. As you can see, Glenny, if you want to just kind of point it out on the camera there, that is our sushi rice. So I made that rice probably about maybe a half hour ago. I made mine in the Instant Pot, and it is pretty much 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of water. Important first step is that you absolutely should rinse your rice before you even put it into any cooker that you're going to use. I rinsed it for 5 minutes, and then I let it sit and drain for about another 5 minutes. Pretty much until you rinse it until the water runs clear. You're rinsing off all that extra starch. Otherwise, you'll get a really sticky rice. In the Instant Pot, it was pretty much the rice setting, which is about 12 minutes. Once it's done, I transferred that rice into a glass bowl. You can use a wood bowl as well, but do not use a metal bowl. What you want to do is you want to be able to disperse that heat so that the rice cools off faster. And then using a softer material spoon, so a wood spoon, maybe a plastic spatula, but not a metal spoon, you want to stir in the rice wine vinegar. So I used this one here. So my recipe called for a half a cup of rice wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon and a half of salt. Now this seems like a lot of vinegar. I mean, this is my second batch, and I'm down to a third of a bottle pretty much left. So each one uses about a third of vinegar. It seems like a lot, but you got to remember that this rice is going to cook up, and you're going to get a lot of rice, and you want to get that like sweet stickiness that comes with that. And then we're just going to let it cool. And then depending on how you decide to do your roll, some people will fill by hand using their fingers. I'm actually going to use the rice paddle that I have. It works a lot easier for me. But you use whatever utensils that you have. And that's how we did the rice. So it's pretty easy. You don't have to use the Instant Pot. You can follow whatever directions that work the best for you. But as I said, it was like a half hour, and I have like a ton of rice now. Plenty to do all the rolls that we're going to do today, and probably a few after that. So I'm going to move to Glenny and let Glenny talk about her book and showcase what recipes she's doing today.
Hi there. This book, which we have in our collection, is called Sushi Taste and Technique by Kimiko, Barber, and Hiroki Takemura. And this one I liked because it had wonderful pictures and sections. So they also did this thing here, which I really like. I didn't know about these, like poke bowls, or we're not sure how to say that, but think like a taco bowl or like those Mexican bowls. But and these are just delicious. They look. I've never done it this way, but it's a very traditional. After reading this book, I've seen that it is a traditional way of serving sushi, unformed, unmolded, as a bowl. And the thing that's remarkable about this book is it has beautiful pictures. It really showcases and highlights the sort of aesthetic and skill behind real sushi masters who know how to um, really artfully, because it's all about the presentation. First, it's a feast for the eyes. You want to be wowed with your visual senses, your smelling senses, and then the calmness, the serenity and calmness within you, your measured, mindful way of creating it. And so it's like a full experience. Also, I learned when you dip into the soy sauce nori roll, sushi roll, don't dip the rice because it just up the soy sauce, and you're supposed to put the side of your seaweed in there. Little tip, if you don't like it quite so salty. And also with the molded rolls with the fish on top, a piece of fish on top, they usually dip it upside down, like the fish side in the soy sauce. I've heard. I'm sure
interesting.
There's all kinds of personal preferences, and it's not, in stone, but that's the tradition. And then what to drink with sushi. So it's summer, and last night my husband and I had sushi on the deck practicing, and he chose beer. I had iced green tea. One could have sake. I'm thinking winter time, warm sake with sushi would be really yummy. And even iced cold sake could be really nice. And then they also recommend white wine. So those are the preferred beverages, I've been told, according to this book. And then they go through the basics. They show you the ginger, which is often pink because some people do beets to make it pink, other shiso leaves, something makes it pink, or umeboshi plums or something. And all the different kinds of seaweeds, whether you're going to do a bowl, whether you're going to do a pressed, the different dipping sauces, wasabi, which some people love, others do not. We have both of them here today with you. And the making dashi, because sometimes when you have sushi, you'll start with a dashi broth that has a beautiful, maybe a little bit of fish and some garnishes on top to sort of cleanse your palate and get you ready for the sushi. They go over the cooking of the rice, like Rebecca said. Here they recommend putting a little bit of kombu, kelp, in with their cooking rice instead of salt, I imagine. And then the thin rice omelet. Did you know you could get a rectangular Japanese omelet pan and make a beautiful rectangular omelet, which they then slice and also roll in there?
Someday.
Yes. And so this is a really beautiful, inspiring, and knife skills, chopping knife skills, quite amazing, and hand molding. So what I learned was in this book, here's that broth I was telling you about that's really rather fabulous. And you can, with miso, tofu, kale, greens, whatever. And then they get into a whole section on fish and shellfish and how to choose your fish, how to pick your fish, how to have a whole fish, and how to carve it up. So there's a whole section on that, which is really quite interesting. I don't have access to beautiful fresh fish, but they show you the lines to cut at, and really, really actually very interesting. How to slice, how to cut for the different kinds of sushi, and then roe, shrimp, all kinds of. They really give you a seafood extravaganza breakdown in here. Then we get to the making sushi part. So they show you the bowls, the sushi bowls, which I quite like. I think that would be a lovely way to have a meal, rice in a bowl with your beautifully chopped things on top, and to see how beautiful. Really quite fun. So then, I'm going to flip over here. Look at this parcel. They made this beautiful omelet, and then they made this beautiful parcel of goodness inside and wrapped it up with a little greenery. And I mean, just the artfulness of how it's presented. Really, really inspiring. And that's why I go to restaurants sometimes, because I am not that skilled. However, I am inspired to make it sort of kitchen side and American. And here we get into the thin roll sushi. Now, as you can see, you're going to see two different ways to make it today. I'm going to be molding mine in a mold, and Rebecca is going to be rolling hers more traditionally like this on a mat, and we'll get to that shortly. And then while there are recipes in here, like here's a yummy one, salmon ginger thick rolls. So they had cucumber salmon, a little green onion, and in the rice, and then ginger on top. So we'll be doing variations of that today. So I basically read this and got inspired, and then just saw what I had and what was available at the grocery store and made some. But I think we're ready for, are you ready, Am I making
I
first?
think you were making
I'm
first.
making first. Okay. So I'll show you how I did it in my mold over here. And so I have this wonderful mold, and it has a bottom, and you can do different shapes with different shapes. It's down here, and this is the rounded traditional round shape, and you slide this over the top, which is like the cutting mold. Put your shiny side down, nori in there or seaweed. Oh, I'm going to use your wonderful paddle because it doesn't stick. This is magic because the rice is sticky, and so I just put a little bit in the bottom. Not even halfway because you're going to be putting filling in there as well. The wonderful things that you want. And so I'm just kind of going like this. Then I have this little thing right here that the secret to not sticking is to having damp things that you anoint. So I have this that I put in here to make a little channel in the rice. And then I'll put in, I think I'll make a crab. Do we have a piece of crab available?
I do.
Yes. So I'm going to, all right. Thank you. I'm going to do crab. I think I used quite a bit there.
That's all right. I could get more.
And cucumber. Crab. Cucumber. And that could just be very simple, just like that. Crab and cucumber. But you can make it as fancy or as simple as you like. Some of them are just plain. Some people will just make nice little, or they'll take this sticky rice and they'll make balls of sticky rice, roll them in sesame seeds, and have those for lunch with whatever other sides they have. Those are good take to work type things. So I keep filling and I say, I think that's about right. We'll see. Then you take this side, roll it over, and maybe didn't fill it quite enough. And then this one, it's really good for a little bit of moisture. Do you put water on yours at all?
I do not.
Huh. I sometimes dampen the edge. And we'll see if this was, I don't think I put enough in, but we'll see here. And then when it's time to cut.
Do you need a cutting board?
No, I do it right here on this.
Do you need a cutting board underneath that?
Yeah, maybe so I don't scarf them.
Here you go.
Yes, please. Now, there goes I'm going to actually get a little bit of ginger juice in here that I'm going to wet it with. So that it sticks. So it doesn't always like to. There. Then, one of the secrets of cutting is to keep your knife damp and sharp. You want a really sharp knife. And sometimes you want to, you'll notice how much stickiness you get on your knife. Probably time to, sometimes I do it between each cut, depending on how it's sticking to the knife. This is a similar kind of a gadget that I see Rebecca has too, to help you make even cuts, and it stabilizes it while you're trying to cut it. Otherwise, it's really difficult.
It is. I find it quite difficult.
I know
too.
masters can do it, but I am not a master. So then I take this off. Oh, I'm going to take this off too. You can see what we made. All the different kinds. And then this, I like to just go like this into my hand and then take it and say, where should I put that? Right here. And here. And so this one is a simpler one. And maybe I just go like this. Oh, you're going to use this, aren't you?
I will eventually, yes, need that.
Yes, yes, you will use this. And we'll just fill them up here like this.
There's a lot of sushi rolls there.
It is. We're going to be feeding a lot of people. So that was your simple one with just simply the crab stick and the cucumber. And others, as you'll see, Rebecca's going to be making some. She'll tell you about her book, I believe. And then she'll be making a few that have a couple of other ingredients that are quite yummy. So you want to take it away, Rebecca?
Yep, just 1 second. I'm going to leave you on camera for a second while I just go and I know, right? Well, I wasn't in frame. There we go. You know, when it's only two of us sometimes. So the book that I chose is the Sushi Cookbook for Beginners, the 100 step-by-step recipes to make sushi at home. I actually took a 1 day, like 4-hour class. I want to say it was 4 hours on how to do sushi rolls. But that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I remember some of it, but I really like sushi rolls. I like the sashimi. Not ready though to prepare raw fish, as Glenny had stated. This book though was really nice. It gives you the good basics that the other book that Glenny had did as well. It breaks it down and talks about, you know, how to start your sushi journey, which is talking about like what pantry items you need, the proper etiquette of eating, and I'm showing you words, I'm sorry, pickled ginger, how to serve it. This book does not have as many pictures as Glenny's did. There's a few, right? It has like how the nori should look, and then it does show some basic, like, you know, step-by-step of how things should look. But it really is a text, really like a full text-based book. Not as many pictures as a lot of our cookbooks would normally have. What is really nice, though, is that it has a lot of the traditional, at least restaurant sushi rolls that you'll find. And that was really nice. I found all of my ingredients at Walmart in town here. So a lot of these recipes you'll be able to do just staying local if you need to. And as you know, Glenny has a form. I'm going to attempt to hand roll on camera, so we'll see how well that goes. The two rolls that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a California roll and I'm going to do a Philadelphia roll. The California roll uses imitation crab meat, so I didn't have to worry about substituting any ingredients in that one. The Philadelphia roll, though, would normally use salmon. I am not going to use raw salmon, so I'm using smoked salmon for mine. So that is the only real substitution that I have for these recipes. I'm also going to do the Philadelphia roll in reverse. So I'm going to have my seaweed on the outside, which is actually, right, and then have, yes, I'm going to have my seaweed on the inside. So while Glenny's rolls have the seaweed on the outside, right? No, both of these rolls have the rice on the outside, right? So I'm going to make one of them on the outside and one on the inside, because on the inside it's a little easier having your rice on the inside because you don't have the sticky aspect of the rice that you have to contend with as you're trying to roll your sushi. But the other one I will make in the traditional method. So I'm going to do the California roll with the rice on the outside like it is described, but I'm going to do the Philadelphia roll in reverse on there. So I'm going to I took my ring off so that I don't get rice in there. I'm going to move the camera over, and I'm actually going to have Glenny then move over here so that she can see what's going on. Okay. All right. So I have two pads here, and traditionally when you're hand rolling, you would probably use a bamboo mat. I have plastic ones, but I was taught that they really are hard to clean sometimes. So I was taught to keep it in a plastic bag and roll it that way, because then you don't have to worry about what happens if you can't get them perfectly clean, and you don't have to worry about the possibility of salmonella. So you can buy these sheets of nori. This is like a 50 pack that you get. Mine I bought on Amazon, but they do have them at Walmart. They're really quite thin. And what you want one side is shinier, and I don't know if you're going to see this on camera, and the other side is not as shiny. And it's really tough to tell in this kind of light. You want the shiny side on the outside, and that's purely for presentation aspect. So the first one I'm going to do is the Philadelphia roll. And that one is, so you're going to take your rice. And I'm just going to slide this over. So I just have a little bit of extra room here. And you're going to fill your mat with rice. You do not want this thick. They actually recommend, if you could try to do one rice kernel flat, I'm not going to be that good.
Wow.
I find that this rice paddle is quite nice. It doesn't stick. The rice doesn't really stick to it. And it allows you to get a much more even coverage. When I took my class, they had us do them by hand. And it was not pretty. It was I had these like thick spots, these really, really thin spots. It was a mess. Because the rice is so sticky.
How did it roll up?
The first time I rolled was really, really rough. But you get better as you practice.
Yeah.
So, and knowing kind of like how much to fill, because that can be really challenging. Right? You think about.
It's easy to put
wanting to put too much in because you're like, oh, I really like this. I want to have more of that, and then you go to try to roll it, and it's just like a mess. Oops! Now, you see, right? That rice just like wants to stick everywhere.
That is a nice tool. I've never seen anything release rice like that.
Oh, like when I was doing my practice rolls with my son, and we were like, we're gonna put it by hand. I'm like, you do this by hand. And I was like, oh, I have this rice pan. And I was like, oh my gosh, why had I not used this? All right, it is not fully covered, but we're going to go ahead and
looks good.
Get this on here. So now the book says put it in the middle. I was always taught to put it in the third of it because you're going to still roll it.
I've heard that too.
So the Philadelphia roll only has two main ingredients.
Ooh, you're gonna sprinkle goodness.
It has sesame seeds, and normally you have these because it helps. It would be on the outside for presentation, but I still like sesame seeds, even though it's going to be on the inside for this one. And it has cream cheese that you just cut in a strip, and you're just going to lay it right all the way across. Just break that a little bit. And then all it has is salmon. And so this is the smoked salmon. And I have this extra piece of salmon, so I'm going to use that. All right, and I'm going to quick grab some paper towel and so that is pretty much the basics of the Philadelphia roll. And so now I'm going to get it just centered onto my mat. All right. And you're going to take it and you want to roll over this edge here over the top of the inside of your roll. So we're going to roll it over. And you see how I kind of crease it here? And you don't want to squeeze too hard because you don't want a flat roll. And then, right? So now I have my first part and I need to finish it. So now I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to roll that over. And We have one more. And lots of times I do this last one just by hand then.
Yeah.
And I just kind of roll it over. And now that actually turned out
That looks beautiful.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to set this one aside because I'm going to cut them both
At the same time.
well, or when I'll cut them together. So we're just going to set this one aside. And now we're going to do the California roll. And I want to say I don't order California rolls a lot. I tend to order like the dragon roll and those kind of. So I believe the California roll is one of the more common rolls. So now, and this is going to be the one that is going to have the rice on the outside. So I'm going to put my rice down. So I'm going to want to have, I definitely want to make sure I have a good coverage, and I definitely do not want to have too much either. It's like that delicate dance. All right. While I'm spreading this rice here, Glenny, what are your favorite sushi rolls when you go out?
I don't know them really well. I like getting a variety, and then I always get the variety, and then I never know which one's which because they're all good, and I can't remember. You're much better at remembering there was an eel one, wasn't there?
There's an eel cucumber one that my son I really like it too, and it has eel, it has cucumber in it. It has the seaweed on the outside. It's a smaller roll. There's not a lot like in it, and there's some sort of, and I'm just drawing a blank on. There's some sort of like sauce that's drizzled over it. He also likes the Las Vegas roll, which is very similar to I think it has salmon in it, but it has mango in it.
Yum, that sounds good.
What's
your favorite?
Oh, I always try something different.
Yeah.
I do love the spider roll.
Those are good. Is there something crunchy in a spider roll?
I want to say,
it's dramatic.
There might be some roe on there. So let's see. I'm just gonna kind of get those edges just a little. Probably gonna regret that in the end. Probably should have just left it be.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's probably why I'm not an artist.
So this one, do you get more sesame seeds on this one because it doesn't stick, or doesn't that the issue?
You still will put the sesame on the outside. I do a nice coating on it.
Yeah.
Right, and now they call for toasted. These are just black sesame seeds, because they didn't. So you can buy them. Walmart in town doesn't have them. I want to say like Meyer in Appleton didn't have toasted either. And then what I do is I will put on some cling wrap because we need to flip this bad boy over so that it's on the outside so we can put.
Oh, intrepid.
Yes.
This is intrepid.
So I press it down a little bit to kind of, hope that it stays. And my sheet is just big enough that I can flip it over.
Oh.
Yeah. And now I have my working side. And this one has mayo in. I'm just going to put it on. And it's not a seasoned mayo, but you could mix it up. You could add wasabi if you want. And it's just going to be just a spread of mayo. Which I didn't know, by the way, until I read the book.
That really surprises me.
In it.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought it was cream cheese. All right, and this one calls for cucumber, avocado, and the imitation crab. So I'm going to lay my cucumber down. I left my peeler at home, so I left the green on. And put my crab in. Here I just say, be careful, don't put too much. And now I'm going to put avocado in there. Ooh,
This is so interesting.
so
I've never
and
done
I
it this
just
way.
have to wipe my hands.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. Now this is where it gets a little trickier because right now we're dealing with the rice
Yeah.
on there. So what I do is I kind of tuck that plastic wrap behind the mat
So you can see.
so that I can, because you don't want that plastic wrap to get in there. And this is where, right, because we're going to try to, you want to get that all the way over. All right.
Oh, it's
right.
taking shape.
It is taking shape. It's definitely not as nice rolled as the other one is, but
It's not finished yet.
it's not finished yet. Oops. All right. Now we're going to pull it back and we're going to see.
Nice.
And I'm just going to trim that avocado off. There. I'll just set that aside.
Wow.
All right. And we're going to leave that one on the plastic wrap while I cut this first one here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to
Are you going to use your handy dandy?
I am. I am not very good at all at cutting the rolls because you have to hold them without like squishing them.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
I'm really bad at it. My kit came with my mats. I came with the rice patty, and then it came with this nice little holder that so it has a knife edge on it.
Nice.
I can hold it on there. We struggle to get it out without like wrecking the roll sometimes, and just slides right in there.
Nice.
And we're just gonna slide that over. And I can now hold them here, so I can kind of hold and squeeze the roll without wrecking it.
Yeah.
But the roll won't move around then when I'm cutting it. This is one of our library knives, so I'm not sure.
Do you want that sushi knife right there?
Well, this is actually going through pretty nice. So,
Okay.
And you can see though, right? You can see that
icky.
that it does get a little
Smeary.
but this device does really kind of help. I will wipe that off when I go to do the rice one.
Yeah.
And now, right?
Beautiful.
Now I have. There we go. We have little California rolls. Come on. I just did not want to give away, did it?
There you go. Pretty.
So that end piece
Very
is a
nice.
little.
That's okay.
It's a little rough.
That one's maybe for the chef.
And I'm going to quick wipe this knife off
So
on the wet
there's
rag. And
the California rolls.
now I do not use wasabi on the side with mine. And I don't use pickled ginger either. I'm a straight, just the soy sauce is just fine. And now my seam is here, and I want to have that seam side down still.
Oh.
Right? So that helps. I'm going to set that aside. And oh, I'm sorry. This is the Philadelphia roll.
That was the Philadelphia roll.
Yes,
This is the
California roll.
Because the California roll
Has
is
the
inside
avocado.
out. Okay.
And it is made with the rice out, as the Philadelphia roll is traditionally made.
Beautiful.
Oh, that rice is so sticky. And really, I mean, these did not take very long. Like, it's an easy, like, nice summer dish. You know, even if you, right? we chose the option of going with cooked fish. So you don't have to worry about, you know, if you don't like raw fish. And
it would be also fun to set up and have people try it, you know, have a few made up,
yeah,
but then also
And then
have
leave
everybody
those on
build
up.
their own. Could be very lovely too.
thing there.
So here's these. Very nice. Very beautiful. So let's see, should we show
Yeah.
the other ones too? Let's see. Or did that already?
We did that. I
Yep.
can even switch over now, the camera,
Mhm.
and we'll actually both be in the frame. Hi. I'm going
Hi.
to take my hair down now. I didn't want to get hair in the
So that was two librarians making sushi for you. And
well,
it
really
was
for
fun
us,
for
but
us and the staff here, so we're very excited. But it's a fun adventure, and it's a great way to try something new.
yeah.
I thought it was really a nice summer.
And definitely
yummy
don't
thing.
feel like you have to follow, like if you just right. My book also has ones that have like beef and chicken in. What a great way to maybe like leftovers.
Yeah,
And just
I mean-
put in. I mean, there's really nothing that you can't. If you like those ingredients, just throw them in there
Yeah.
and make what you want. Put whatever filling you have in. Nobody's gonna come. There's gonna be no sushi police coming to your door. All of these books, so these two books, plus I believe we have
two more.
two
There's
more,
4 altogether.
are going to be available to be checked out right away. So you can go into our catalog and probably just type in sushi and
them
you'll
on
find
hold.
all of our sushi books and you can put them on hold and then pick them up. Maybe a great weekend adventure to try or a great project for you and the kids to try during summer break.
Yes. My kids loved it growing up. We'd have it once in a while.
Yeah,
It
it'll
was
keep them
fun.
busy for a while. That
Yeah,
rice is pretty
it's a
sticky.
hands-on project.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be picking our, we did
What
pick
did we?
our July.
Is it French?
It's French. We are
French
going
food.
to be doing a French theme because I want to say it's like Bastille Day
Okay.
is the day that
14th.
we are going to
Mhm.
be doing our Cook the Book. And then in August, we are going to be doing Korean themed
Oh, good.
dishes. I cannot remember though what the day is as to
I don't
why,
know.
but there is a Korean based holiday, I
And
believe,
that's
in there.
completely out of our wheelhouse again. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
be learning and sharing what we learned with you. So
All right.
well,
Well,
it was a great pleasure.
yeah, thanks for
As
joining
always.
us. We look forward. The building is open. Summer program starts on
Monday.
which is the 21st of June.
First day
So
of
you
summer.
can sign up. We have outdoor programs. We have Mindfulness and Me. We have Tai Chi. We have a STREAM program, which is science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math.
Mhm.
We have a
Friday at the farmer's market.
Friday story times at the farmers market. Plus, we have our summer reading program where you can earn a book bag. You can earn book bag badges as well as a free book by the end of the summer. I think we're going to have a lot of
Yeah.
fun this summer.
Yeah, stop on in, sign up, and
Great.
we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.